Hello everyone, Tymerover here, and welcome as we start a new series for a game called Planetbase. Now, Planetbase has been out and for a while now. I think it was released in 2015. And back then, I remember seeing it, seeing other Let's Plays on it, as well as reading about it. But that was before I actually started my channel here. And I sort of lost touch with it and lost just realizing it after its release and after I started the channel and so on and so forth. And it wasn't until just recently when I started the Surviving Mars campaign that I started reading more about Surviving Mars and some comparisons being done on this game right here. And I said, you know what, let's go ahead and get that and play around with it and sort of do sort of a genre or a comparison or all that stuff on these kind of games. And so that's what we're going to do here. We are looking, the Planetbase here is similar to games like Surviving Mars. However, it is in certain aspects more challenging. In my my little playthrough that I had solo, just to learn things around, learn the mechanics and everything. It is a little bit more challenging than, say, Surviving Mars, but it is sort of, you are a group of colonists and you land on a planet, not necessarily Mars, but a planet, and you have to build up your colony and you have to survive. So it's quite interesting. We're going to jump right into it. I'm just going to do a new game here. Now, it is worth noting that it does have these various challenges that I've not yet done. But I just sort of like the original new game style of building and seeing how far you can get. But you do have these options to actually do different challenges that have to meet specific goals if you didn't want to go right into the actual building of the game. And there is also a tutorial, so I would advise you to actually play through the tutorial first, which is what I did. So that is there. And we're just going to jump right into a new game here. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure if my original game, my solo game, is going to be overwritten or not, but should be interesting. So originally you only have access to the Class D accessible go here, but because I went through a solo game here before we actually started recording, I did open up the Class F challenging world, but we're not going to go into that just yet for this beginning series here. We're going to jump into the Class D accessible world and start building our colony there. So we do have similar to like Surviving Mars, you can like pick a specific location on the planet to go with, but honestly I'm not sure entirely how much that makes any difference. I'm not sure how the world is generated. If you would, say, for example, go to the same location, if you and I would be playing on the same map, I'm not entirely sure. But we are going to name our base. Can I do... No, Times Haven. That's what we're going to call it, Times Haven. And I think we're just going to like go around, and go with 1398. Actually, it might be too hard to actually do that. Yeah, we're just going to go... Alright, that's fine. We're going to go here. Characteristics of this, we have a light amount of high solar panels. Light amount, high. So solar panels operate at full capacity. Atmosphere density, high, suitable for wind turbines. Sandstorm risk is high, and meteor risk is low. So in my trial game I had a bit of meteors going down, but luckily in that game I was fairly fortunate to not have the meteors be that bad in the beginning part of the game. So I'm hoping that sort of translates to this game. I don't know. The sandstorms aren't terrible once we get a little bit further into the game and can bring everybody indoors during them, but otherwise until that point they can be kind of a pain because people can be injured and stuff can be done there, or not done, but your resources can dwindle, medical resources during sandstorms and so on and so forth. But power is escalated during that, so that is fun. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and start the game. So the game does give you little tips here. It loads pretty darn fast, I have to say. Before you reach a high level of prestige, make sure you recruit some guards and arm them, as this will attract attackers. Lovely. Alright, so we are descending. So this game does not actually have a pause function that I know of, except for hitting escape to bring up the menu, which pauses your game. Otherwise, it's sort of, you know, more challenging that you can't pause to figure things out. But the slow speed setting is pretty slow and can sort of function that way. But there is no sort of like pause and sort of plan things out. We're going to be constantly on a game speed. So with that in mind, like I said, you can hit escape to pause the game, which, you know, does come into handy, but you can't plan anything out during this. I can't move the camera. I can't do anything. With that in mind, I'm just going to take a gander at what we got going on here. Because we got a couple things we need to get up right away. Alright, you know what? We're good. So, I'm going to go ahead and quote-unquote pause it by hitting escape. What are the first things we're going to need? Well, we're going to need oxygen, obviously, because our little people here do not have a unlimited supply of oxygen. They didn't come with it. So they are going to be depleting their oxygen rather quickly. And we'll see that once we unpause or unhit escape. And we'll need to get an oxygen generator, and that's going to require power. So we're going to need to get up a solar panel. And the oxygen generator requires water as well to function. So we are going to need to get the water up and running quickly. So that's going to be our first task here, just so our people, they do not die. And because we have solar power, we're going to try to do a little bit more before night falls. Because once night falls, if we don't have a battery up, we're not going to be generating any power, and the colony can quickly fall apart. So we're hoping, that doesn't actually happen. So let's go ahead and close out of this and get started. All right, so up here we have our build area, and we're going to build exterior structures. So the circle without the dome is the exterior structure, and we're going to start with I think a solar panel to begin with. We could put down the, you know what? Never mind. We're going to do the interior first and actually get the oxygen generator. Forgot the oxygen generator is interior, so let's do that. So I'm just going to, like, put that down right there. And our little guys here will start, you know, accumulating that. So we got the constructor bot here, carrier bot, which will bring resources over. Let me throw down a couple of other things while we wait for this thing to finish. We're going to want a solar panel. So let's get this. Alright, we don't want a big solar panel. So with the the mouse wheel, I can actually increase or decrease it. But we're going to stay sort of, you know, okay with just a standard panel here. So go ahead and hit that. Put down our solar panel. Next, we're going to want not a power collector, water extractor. That's where we're looking here. Oh, wait. We got to first connect these buildings here. So, boom. That way they're connected to power. Let's get a water collector. We're going to put that probably, say, over here. Looks good. Get it sort of out of the way. I'm thinking of moving everything over here. Either that or start building towards this way with my colony so that I can put a mine over there. Go ahead and click that in. If we click one of our guys, you can see our O2 level is dropping. So it's going to be pretty important to get this up and running sooner rather than later. And I do want a power collector. I'm going to actually increase this to the top area here. Let's put it right there. And right there, water extractor is in. This hasn't been, the connection here hasn't been actually set up yet, so that's part of why we're not actually doing anything yet there. Now we actually need to get into here, and in order to get into there, we're going to need a airlock. Without it, we're not going to be able to access our base. So I'm going to put an airlock right there, and they'll go ahead and link those up, and then our people will be able then to get in there and get the oxygen up and running. All right, power conductor or power collector is good. We are accumulating power. We are also now going to get a wind turbine. I'm going to increase this to the top level wind turbine for right now. I think I can get it sort of right in here. Yes. There we go. Now the wind turbine will work at night, so that's good. Oh, what's going on? Oxygen is really low. All right, oxygen's good. People are going in. We have some room here to function. That's good. They're not going to die. Excuse me. They're not going to die right away. Now, we do have a lot of resources in our colony ship, and I can recycle the colony ship as well for additional resources. However, just going to decrease it to 1 here. However, things deteriorate as they're out when they're outside, not in storage areas. So we want to hold off as long as possible for that. All right. So what do we put up next? Well, we have power. It's decreasing a little bit. We're not using a lot of it. And we are now getting a wind turbine up, which is going to generate some, not right now because wind strength is really poor, but it will generate some power at night. We need a canteen. So we're going to go back to our build menu and actually go to the interior structures again. And we're going to set up a canteen. And I think I'm going to put the canteen and start building out this way. I might actually put the mine over here since we have the airlock right there. I think that's actually going to be useful. I can always put another mine out over here at some point, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, so we got that. Now our people are going to need some sleep as well, and that's going to come with the dorm. So we're going to want to put down a dorm, and again, I can increase or decrease it, but we're only going to do sort of a little dorm area. Now, where do we want to go? Because the dorm is unique in that it is, well, not unique, but one of the unique buildings that can only have one interior connection. So we're going to want to put that someplace that will that we don't want to expand to from that point on. So the canteen can wrap around here. If we put the dorm right here, we may have a hard time setting up a mine over in this area. So we may want to go elsewhere for that. We're going to want a biodome soon. Dorm, let's put the dorm. You know what? We can put the dorm over here. That's going to be fine. Come on. There. Good. Now we're just waiting on construction here. So our constructors, so if I hit the tab button, we get rid of the actual roofs here, and we can take a look at our people. We have here a worker, biologists. So the biologists are important because they actually help with plant growth, and we'll see that once we create the biodome. Another biologist, another medic here, which is important. They'll heal us. Now, people will just, if they don't have anything specialized to do, they will carry resources around. So that's good. Our constructor bot is constructing. I think the engineers, if I can find an engineer here. Yeah, I think the engineers will construct. If need be, they will construct buildings. So that's good. All right, you're building the dorm. We have the canteen. So in the buildings, now the buildings do have this editable button that you can edit the furniture and stuff within the building. So we're going to edit this, and we are going to put down a little table. Let's put the table like right here is fine. We're going to put a drinking fountain so that they can actually get some proper drinks. And we are going to want a meal maker so that they can actually process food and create meals. And we are going to put down a video screen so that they will be able to watch TV and get some enjoyment out of that. Now I'm going to put it on this side since we're not going to be able to go that way. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. because you have to be careful. If you put something down and then connect up to it, like if I would connect something right here, my TV would just like disappear, which kind of sucks. All right, so the dorm is done. We can edit it, and we're going to put down a bed. One bed to start with, I think, is going to be sufficient for right now. All right, go back. Power-wise, power's doing pretty well. Wind is kicked up, so our power is doing very well right now. If we look at our base management here, we can get a couple stats. See how many people we have, what is this, prestige and all that stuff, and the resources we currently have. I can also see that by hitting this button here. I usually tend to keep this view up, this menu, just so I can see what we're packing there. But we'll make do as is. All right, so next we want to set up a biodome. So the biodome is where you can grow vegetables and subsequently food. So we're going to be focusing a bit on that. And again, I'm just going to use the small dome to start with because that is more than sufficient for what we currently need. So our people are complaining. They need water, or they need a drink, which they'll get from the drinking fountain here. No one's complaining about sleep yet, but they will shortly, I will say. So luckily we have the bed up and running. I think that's going to be fine. Alright, so we got the biodome. The biodome is worked by biologists, and we are going to grow our food. And we're going to grow, there's different options you can do, and we'll take a look at them once we get there. But we're going to be focusing on more or less tomatoes for the beginning here. So we're going to crank up the speed a little bit. We're pretty much okay, at least for the start here. We have a good source of oxygen. We have power. We have the canteen, the entertainment, some place for them to get some shut-eye. We're not self-sustaining yet, but we're not, in immediate danger of dying, which is good. That's actually very good. Once we get this up, we'll be able to start making our own food and potentially our own, and eventually our own bioplastic with the processing. Well, we need to actually get the material first for all that before we can actually start making the metals and the bioplastic and actually become self-sustaining. So that's going to be good. All right, so the biodome is getting constructed. Let's increase that, get that done. Excellent. Perfect. Now I can't edit it yet because our hallway here hasn't been finished, but it should be good right now. So I'm going to bring it back down to 1, and we are going to start this process. All right, so we're going to do a tomato. So these are the crops you have to choose from. They're different. So the first tier cropped, I should say the first line here, they can produce starch. They're very starchy plants. And the starch is then converted into bioplastic, which is a building material. So you're going to want some of these. These are the food, the main food. So they don't produce any starch, but they produce more food, which can be processed into meals using the meal processor here. And then you have some additional ones here. You have a medicinal pad, which will make medicine that your medics can turn into medical supplies, as well as pine trees and oak trees that sort of act as decoration or relaxation and all that stuff. We're not going to worry about those right away. We're going to start with a tomato pad. And the difference here is the tomatoes are fast production, so you'll get food quickly, but they do require a lot more maintenance, and you get maintenance from your biologist. So it'll take a lot more upkeep, but we'll get the food a lot quicker. Then on the other side over here, well, in the middle here, we got the onion pad, which is sort of middle of the road. It's not, it doesn't take as much requirement or maintenance requirement, so we're going to set that up there. But it doesn't give us food as quickly as the tomato pad. From there, we're going to set up a rice plant here. And the rice is our starchy one. So we're going to produce fast production on the starch, and it's going to require a lot of maintenance though, but we'll get us started with that. And then finally, we may set up a medicinal plant eventually, but I think we're going to hold off on that for right now. and just focus on other areas until later on. All right, you're good, onion pad. All right, so we are gonna start producing here, and you can see the excellent is maintenance denotes the maintenance, and that's gonna be requirement. Now, this is where actually colonists are pretty important. So how many biologists do we currently have? Let's see here. Workers, we got 2 biologists, so we're gonna want to sort of hold off on building any more like not high producing, but quick producing, high maintenance crops until we get a couple more biologists to actually work those. Now, what comes next? Well, we need a mine. Now, the mines are built outside, so they are outdoor buildings, and they get you ore, which is then converted into metal. And so I like to build them near an entryway or an airlock, which is why I sort of built this where I did. So we're going to go ahead and build that, and we're going to connect it up. So I think we're okay for right now. Let's take a look at our stats here. Charts, grid. Power's doing all right. We're currently consuming 14 kilowatts and producing 27 kilowatts. Now, if we look, yeah, we got a lot of wind power right now, but this is our power storage. So we got a lot of power saved up, and a lot of, we're doing fine with water. We're consuming 2, producing 4.7, so that's fine. We don't have any water tanks, so we're not like banking any. So kind of, we might want to get a water tank eventually, so we're not wasting, water. But as far as I know, the water doesn't actually run out. So you just need to sort of build additional ones eventually. All right, so the mine is going to be set up. That's great. And will allow us to start mining some ore to be produced into metal eventually. In fact, I am going to increase, I want people to always be working the mine. So we're going to go ahead and increase the priority so that our workers actually do start mining. And the workers are the ones that actually do that, which I think you're going to probably go, yeah. Tammy's going to go and start mining for us. Now, the mines actually will produce more injuries, so you got to be careful about that. And with that in mind, we are probably going to want to get a medical bay at some point here soon. But I think it's okay to start with a processing plant right now. That way we can start actually working on getting bioplastic and the metals produced. I'm going to just put them right there. I think that's going to be fine. And wow, we're already going to need to put a cut in the video here. I think we'll get the processing plant up and those things queued. All right, you know what? This is almost getting low, so I might go ahead and just recycle this just to get more resources here. I think it's about time. You know what? Boom. Done. Done and done. So as you can see, we got a little bit more resources, but these things will start deteriorating the condition. So we'll want to get them indoors fairly soon, but I think we'll be all right for right now. They don't deteriorate super fast, but we'll want to make sure to mine that at some point here. Power's still doing well. It's not good to run out of power, so you want to make sure to be mining that. If we look at our overall stocks, meals are all right. We are producing food. In fact, our tomato pad is almost finished, which will be replenishing a little bit of food. I think the tomatoes produce, 3. So we'll get 3 vegetables, which can be converted into 3 meals, hot meals, in the meal maker here. All right, processing plant is done. Filling with oxygen right now. So we are going to put down a metal processor, like so, and a bioplastic processor, like that. And that should give us our self-sustaining status, because we'll be able to create both resources that are meant for the building blocks. We're not going to be creating them super fast because we just don't have the people, but I will feel much more comfortable about accepting colonists, at least now that I got these things in and we're moving forward, because it's not good to sort of like bring people in ASAP. Because you just don't have the resources to sort of support that right now. So I usually like to wait until I get a couple things set up and become self-sustaining before we move to bring additional people in, especially getting the resources to keep them alive, the meals and everything, because you don't want to run out of food. Let's take just a look see here at our power. In fact, I like using the status screen up here, so let's do the grid. 21 of 36, still pretty good, and that's with the wind strength going down. Yeah, so this is our day counter. So yeah, we're approaching nighttime, which can be kind of worrisome. There we go. Self-sufficiency reached. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. All right, so we got this. You know what? I'm going to put this on top priority as well because I want these being worked. If we have the resources to do so, they should go ahead and do that. Now, we will want a storage facility here at some point. I'm really curious. Can I put the storage facility over here? I don't know if we're going to do the storage facility yet, but I kind of want that soon. So I just want to see if we can do that. Where is that? Right here. No. Doesn't look like it. Oh well, that's fine. We can put the storage facilities somewhere over here. I think we'll be just fine. Might want to connect this up eventually, especially if I put the storage facility right here. Oh no, we'll have to wait around and see what happens here. All right, you are fine. We're not really doing anything at the moment. I think now's a good time to put a cut in the video here. We still need to get the factory up because the factory will allow us to create more spare parts, which is used to sort of maintain various things around the base. You start with a pretty good stock of them. Metal, spare parts, and 10. So we're going to want to start building these out. In fact, let me get that down right away before I forget. All right, factory. We're going to put you right here. There you go. Put you there, link you up with you, and that should be okay. And the factory will allow us to start making spare parts. And I usually like to keep the spare parts around 10, 15 area in the beginning. And then after that, we'll probably look to keeping around 20 just on hand. And then there is a way that you can set that up, and we'll take a look at next time. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and put a cut in the video now. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you're going to enjoy this series. If you are, let me know by hitting that like button. If you have any comments or anything or suggestions, please make them below. Otherwise, as always, I suggest you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.